Hello again, everyone. I'm Tom Dirato. Welcome to the Bob Simmons Show, our first get-together of the year. The Cowboys opened their season last weekend over in Tulsa. And, Bob, a solid effort, or good effort from everybody concerned.
Tom, great win. I think it was a game that we've been preparing for a long time during the summertime. Our kids were very excited about the opening that ball game. Started fast, as you know, 21 points, and a great performance, both offense and defense.
You could look at several individuals, had big nights, but in the end, it turned out to be a team effort.
Well, in the end, it did, but our offense came out real fast. Our defense gave us great field position. Lindsay had a stellar game. Reggie White, the offensive line, did a great job blocking. Defense came up with big plays when it was necessary.
Well, when you win 36-26, obviously there are going to be a lot of highlights, and we have that package for you after this opening timeout.
The Bob Simmons Show, brought to you by...
For the most complete, up-to-date, and accurate information on your Oklahoma State Cowboys, your internet destination is www.okstate.com, the official athletic website of Oklahoma State University.
Welcome back to the show. Bob, as anybody would think, 36-26, a lot of points, a lot of yards, but you couldn't have scripted it any better. Jump out 21-0 on the road.
No, you're absolutely right, Tom. Our defense did a great job of coming up with turnovers. You see us coming out of the tunnel here. Had great fan support. Let me say that.
You'll see a little bit of that here in a minute.
Almost like very much a home game with that sea of orange, but we're going to start the ball game here. We deferred the toss. Tom put our defense on the field, and you can see center quarterback exchange. We got the ball. First play, come out, run an option play to Reggie. Great decision by Tony and an excellent run by Reggie down the sideline. Got the ball in. First play, one score right off the bat, and that's 7-0. You can see the enthusiasm of our offense and the confidence that we have. Seth Conley came in, did a nice job kicking the field goal, but to come out and get a turnover, put your defense on the field, great field position, and you can see the defense here right now comes back out. I think this is T-Rob. T-Rob, a great hit. Now, if Zach Aiken was a little bit niftier, he might have scored, but he did give us pretty good field position there.
You know, we talked about it in the pregame on radio, but this is a return to what we did a couple of years ago. Take the ball away, put points on the board.
Well, we thought going in this ball game early, we wanted to come out and start fast. We got to teach Zach to carry that ball, otherwise he's going to get stripped. But our defense gave us great field position. You can see we go back inside with Reggie, and he's running hard, Tom. Jumping over people. Looked like he averaged about 7 yards a game. This is a nice check by Tony. Goes up top, make a perfect throw to Willie Young. 3 plays. 14 points, couldn't ask for a better start.
Look at this. I mean, he didn't have much room for error. He dropped it in there where there wasn't a whole lot of room.
None. And all Willie's got to do is catch it, score, and then stare at himself in the mirror there.
That's what he was doing right there, wasn't it? Tony, let's talk about Tony. He accounted for a little more than 200 yards total offense and really made a number of nice throws, precise throws.
Well, what he did, Tom, is make some good decisions. You can see on this option play here, they take away the pitch. He comes back and with the speed and quickness picks up about 15, 20 yards and did it the whole ball game, and then we went back inside. The thing that we asked Reggie to do is to make the first guy miss, break tackles. That's exactly what he's doing. He's running hard here. One guy don't tackle. We put Jay in the ball game here. He runs about 5 yards, close to a first down here. We get a penalty time, but we go back up. Nice read. Same kind of throw to Willie Young. And again, he stares at himself in the mirror, but at 7 points, Seth Conley comes on, does a nice job kicking. And we're up 21 this first quarter.
You've been telling us about this Willie Young for a year now.
Well, he has had some exceptional workouts. Last spring, he's gotten better. But, you know, Tulsa's not going to be a team that really stays down. They come back, get a couple good plays on us. You can see here to increase our defense after we had turned the ball over. Now what we're trying to do is come up with a stop. That was just a defensive breakdown where one guy goes up the field and we really don't squeeze. And the start of the second quarter, they come back to make it a ball game. And here's something, Tom, that we have been practicing on all 2 days, and because we've seen it a lot. That's one of our best guys, Marcellus Rivers. I thought he'd come up with the play, but what we got to do now is try to hold them to a field goal. They come back out and go up top on us with a long play. And our defense, other than long plays, played pretty good. But that's Thomas on a stunt inside, comes back. This is a nice job by, I think, Marcus Jones coming around and making a sack. When you get a sudden change like that, Tom, the thing that we want to say is just either come up with 3 points, try to block it. We came out, we stopped them. We did give them 7, we gave them 3. And so sudden change, the defense did its job, go right back in. And as you know, the one thing we talk about is ball security. And as hard as Reggie was running it, he had the ball out, they knocked it out. Now we're right back on defense. And here's what I'm talking about, how the defense does a good job. It's back-to-back turnovers. They come out, they force them into another field goal, which is coming up here, but 2 tips. The one thing we felt that we could do with Blankenship is jump up and knock his ball down. But instead of giving up 14, which would have made this a tied ball game, we give up 6, which is very, very important. And this is a great play by their guy.
Not much you can do right there.
Well, yeah, you can go up and make the play ourselves, but we didn't. They come back down, 2 good plays, get inside on us, go for a 2-point play, and good bounce for us, ball bounce in the air, and now you can see Elvis Craig's speed. I told him he almost got caught, but I don't think so.
That's our Southwestern Bell play of the game, incidentally. You don't see that very often.
No, but Tom, that was a big turnaround for us. Instead of having a tie game, we go up 23-19. And this is the start of that last drive, I think, just before the half. We go back inside. I think Tony makes some good throws. That's Blackwood trying to get out of bounds. We call our, this is a throw to, I think, Marcellus, crossing route. He does a good job of getting out of bounds because we're really trying to preserve the clock. Tony makes a great run down here, and he gets to their side of the 50, weaving and bouncing. We get up, we go back inside. He makes a great read, comes backside to Gabe, and this is where we want Gabe to learn. Get out of bounds and stop the clock. So we had to call timeout. We got 1 shot at the end zone, and that's when we go up top to the big fella, great throw. You're talking about using the clock real good to get some points on the board. In this particular case, it's a touchdown. Nice high lob, and Marcellus, being big as he is, but this is a pretty good throw, which Marcellus concentrates on. That's a great touchdown. We go in 30-19 instead of 23-19, and I think it's a whole different mindset.
Yeah, you're talking about a situation, just briefly, they have an opportunity to go in with a 2-point conversion to tie the game. And in the space of about 2 minutes, the Cowboys put 9 on the board.
Right, and we come back out the second halftime. We wanted to come back out, establish our dominance, and as you can see, Gabe makes an excellent throw. Had he kept his feet, he would have scored. We go back inside with Reggie. You can see how Reggie is running hard. This is what we wanted to do, get points on the board. Unfortunately, we had a holding call here, which threw us off track. Come back out, a pooch kick by a punter. The ball bounces back their way, but when you score like that, Tom, you really can't have turnovers. And this is what we really started doing on both sides of the ball. Sort of lost our focus a little bit, let them get back in the game. TU is running the ball hard, bouncing it, they run a draw. Our defense did a good job here. This is Thomas again coming up with a big stop. He's going to be an excellent player for us this year.
He's tough to contain one-on-one.
This is a key 3rd down stop, 4th and 10, because they're behind now, and I think that is number 1. No, that's Albert Craig. That's a great stop.
One-on-one
stop.
You
can see we've got a sea of orange here, going back and forth, get back on defense. Their running game was not up to par. I thought our kids did a great job, and here's a play we practiced on, a defense was ready for here. I think this is 3rd down. Special teams, we talked about Paul Jones, we had talked about blocking a kick all week. We tipped this, we give ourselves great field position here. Didn't take advantage of it in terms of a touchdown, but Seth Conley has done a great job kicking. We go up 33-19 in the 3rd quarter, and we're a little bit of offsides here. They come back with a trick play. This down counts for him because we were offsides. Now he's throwing stop routes. This is Donald Scholes again, and we have to be able to tackle him. You can see that their offense is pretty good. They're moving the ball down the field, and now we're out of position. Chris overruns it, and now it's a different ball game. 4th quarter, it's the kind of game that we've had with them for the last couple of years. But we go back and we give it back to let our offensive line take it over, give it back to Reggie. Again, he's got to put that ball away, but here he's running hard. He takes it back down to the 10. This is a 3rd down call, and Tony gets stopped, and we go back to Seth. This is really the field goal that put it out of reach for us. And special teams, just that last drive by the offense was something that was good to see, and that's how you win ball games.
Yeah, as I said, it turned out to be everybody had to contribute there at the end, and they did. A couple of things. Great backs, they seem to run better on that last drive than they do with the first drive.
Well,
Reggie did.
Reggie did. He ran just like he was fresh, like he wanted it. And you need to have a special kind of back that's got his size and speed that can do those things.
And you said before the show even began, it's a win, it's a good effort, a solid effort, but still areas that can improve upon. You got to film now to watch, a real
Well, Tom, it's a game that we can learn from. We only scored 6 points the second half. We were our own worst enemy, and we looked at some things today that we're going to talk to our kids about. But it's easy to do when you can win a game like this one.
Indeed, that's the truth. And you got that win, you got something to look at. You know, if you haven't been to Stillwater in a while, you will be pleasantly surprised when you arrive for the home opener Saturday night against Southwest Texas. We've changed playing surfaces since you were here last. On this week's Oklahoma Farm Bureau Insurance 2-minute drill, we'll take you down on the field, tell you all about the turf they call AstroPlay. Marty, you have to feel like a proud papa looking at the new turf. It was a long time coming, but now we have it.
Tom, it's just a beautiful surface. The orange end zones really add to it a lot. We've had a lot of favorable comments from the players, how well they like it. So we're extremely proud of this surface and what it represents.
Now take us back to those first conversations and how all this thing came to be.
Last winter, Del Miller and myself went up to St. Louis to look at a field that AstroTurf made called AstroPlay, and that's the type of surface this is AstroPlay. And we really liked the surface. But Coach Simmons wanted to have some players go up there and run around on it and run drills and do some things like that to see how they liked it. So we got permission from the NCAA to do that, and we had 5 or 6 players, I believe, went up to St. Louis to test different shoes and run around the surface, and they came back very positive with it, and that really started the process.
As we walk on it right now, it's amazing how soft it really is.
Basically, Tom, with this surface, there's basically about an inch pad underneath it, and we felt very strongly that a pad needed to be put underneath it. And then the grass synthetic fibers are about 2 inches long, and then there's ground up small rubber particles that are placed in it to about an inch of the surface. And when you put all that together, that's what it makes it play like grass, because it does look like a grass field. When you get away from it from a distance, it looks like a grass field.
Okay, now explain this to me. Explain the need to have these blades split as you go along. Tell me exactly why that is and what happens here.
Well, the company, when they process the fiber, it's made like that, and as the players get on it, people get on it, it actually tears them up and splits them, and that puts them into the small grass fibers where it looks like a grass field.
Well, again, the more use it gets, I guess, the better it's going to be.
Yes, it'll break up these fibers more where they'll become thinner and more grass-like then.
All you have to do is go to the top of the stadium and look at this entire carpet, the color, the texture. I mean, this really does spruce up the look of Lewis Field.
No question, you know, the old AstroTurf was definitely need to be replaced. The pad was getting worn out on it, and with this new
those burns on the elbows indicated that
that's
too.
Right, yes, and with this new surface, I mean, the fibers are nice and dark and green. It looks like a grass field, and I think the orange end zones really add a lot to this and really spice it up for us.
Tom, great turf, something that we needed. Obviously, we've been practicing on it for the last 2 weeks, and our kids really enjoy the surface.
Yeah, you don't have to mow it. That's the best
Do
part
not have
right
to mow it
there.
or water it.
You know, we talked about Tony Lindsay. He had a great game over in Tulsa, and Tony will join us on the show following this timeout.
Now it's time for the Big Time Sports Apparel Player Spotlight. Each week we feature the cowboy who typifies the big-time attitude to dig down deeper. This week's Cowboy in the Player Spotlight is Tony Lindsay. Congratulations! When you were big time, dig down deeper.
Well, indeed, we found somebody who dug down deeper this past weekend. Tony Lindsay has promised, and great game over there against Tulsa. You made some fine throws.
Thanks. You know, I was kind of skeptical going into the game with the injured shoulder. I didn't know how my shoulder would act and how, you know, me throwing the ball would go. But, you know, it ended up going pretty well. I mean, better than what I thought.
I think the boss liked it too, didn't he?
Boss is smiling. You know, time was interesting. You keep catching up with the times with the short haircut.
Oh man,
I got the short haircut now. Now it's with the afro, back with the afro. But he did an outstanding job of throwing the ball, making good decisions, getting the ball to the right people. Obviously, on the quarterback draws and the option drew people to him. I just told him one thing: I got to get him there. I got to teach him how to run straight when he gets out in the open.
You know, that's the thing. I think obviously the casual fan doesn't see about a quarterback; they just see the plays they make. But just as important is getting your team in the right play to begin with.
Well, you know, and I'll let Tony speak to that. But you know, with the system that we're doing, he's got the last say so. So you can go ahead and speak to that.
Like Coach was saying, you know, the system we're in, I mean, depending on what's going on out there, you know, what the players called, I mean, it's left up to me to put us in the right position.
Got to be a thrill to be thrown to that other Lindsay, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's fun. It's something I did in high school, something I did when I was young, you know, playing out in the front yard. So I'm pretty used to it.
It was pretty obvious, and Bob's been telling us all preseason. This offense has got all kinds of weapons, all kinds of way to move the football.
Yeah, we do. I mean, there's so many weapons we have on offense. I mean, it's so hard to get to all of them, but all of them will get they'll get the chance to shine. And, you know, we're just going to let it come to them. They have to be patient and work along with the offense and everything go in the right direction.
Well, he's right. And the one thing that if you could see during that 2-minute drive, which we hadn't had in a long time, you know, Tony made good decisions, the offensive line protecting for him, going to the right people. And it was without any calls coming from the sideline, which, except for on a couple occasions, he did most of it on his own.
Tony, I know you're glad to get this out of the way. The first game, we get on to week number 2 against Southwest Texas. We always appreciate the guys coming down here on the day off. Congratulations. Big game over in Tulsa, and hopefully the first of many, many we have this season. We're back to wrap it all up after this final timeout. Welcome back to the show. Bob, quickly, in about 30 seconds, home opener, orange peel, all the excitement that goes with that first game at home.
Well, Tom, you said it. Home opener, orange peel. Looking forward to this weekend. Looking forward to playing in front of our fans, playing on that new turf, and really getting started with the homestand.
The new turf. How'd you like sitting on that new turf? That was pretty good, wasn't it?
It wasn't too bad. You know, I got my golf club at home. I can try them out.
Oh, you may try to take a divot out of there before it's over. That's all the time we have for this week's show. For Bob Simmons, Tony Lindsay, and our entire crew here at Educational Television Services, Tom Dirato. Goodbye, everybody.